Welcome back to another YouTube video, you beautiful hosers. And today is obviously a very short one, as we're looking back at the year of what was 2023. Although, when you see this recording, there's going to be a few days left, and actually today is the 27th, so the day that I'm recording. Anyways, we take a look back at this year, we realize that there's a lot of trials, there's a lot of triumphs throughout the year, for everyone. Everyone has rough patches, and everyone has patches that they just feel are so surreal, and they feel like one giant triumph over that mountain that they thought they could never climb. Some of us, it was fitness goals, other ones, it was finding love, other people, it was just traveling to see the world, or even just spending time with family or friends. And for some people, it was the loss of a loved one. It was them losing their job. It could have been a lot of things that have gone wrong. But with all things that have gone wrong, there always is something that has gone right throughout the year. Whether it be our relationships with somebody else, or whether it just be simply as, hey, things are bad, but I got to a shelter and I have a roof over my head. I don't have to worry about freezing to death. And I will say in Canada right now, it's been a very strange winter in the western side of Canada because it's been very warm. By very warm, I mean like +5 to days where it gets to +10 in the middle of winter with snow still on the ground. So, yeah, it's been a weird, warm, wacky winter compared to other winters where it's been extremely cold, like our -30 to 40 snap last year. But with all that being said, there's always times that we don't understand why it feels like the world is burning around us. But there is always something to be grateful for. And although this year is now behind us, we can always look at it in the rear view and say, you know what? May not have gone as planned, but next year will be better. And for some of us, we can even look at this year being good and say, you know what? Next year can be even better for me. Because I highly doubt anyone wants to be saying, you know what? This year was terrible. I want next year to be worse. Yeah, said no one ever. But amidst all things, just understand that this year has come and gone, and it's time for a new leaf, a new chapter of your story to start. And it's up to you to understand what that chapter is going to be, because albeit unwritten, but the main character of that story is not necessarily yourself, but it is actually the lives of those around you. You may be looking at me and say, well, what do you mean? What I mean by that is, yes, it may seem like we are our own main character of our own story because we're the life that we're living and we are the eyes that we're seeing through. However, when you see through somebody else's eyes about how the world is perceiving things, you understand a lot more, and a lot of our thoughts tend to change. Some of them be cynical, some of them be very poorly upon ourselves, and others, they might just be that we look like we're egotistical. But there's always people that tell us exactly how it is, and those people are the ones that we should actually cherish and not break down for actually telling us, hey, I like that you did this, but you know what? I don't like the way that you're handling this situation right now. You said this, it hurt me. This is how I feel. I just wanted to let you know. And it's our responsibility to look at that sort of stuff and say, you know what? Take a time of reflection, look at it, and learn to improve. It's just like anybody that does sports. You're going to make mistakes. And there's going to be times where you're making these mistakes in the moment and you're saying, man, I really wish I could have done this better. Oh, I wish I hadn't have said that. But there's always moments that we can look at whether it be in victory or defeat, that we can look back and say, you know what, I could have done this a little bit better. You may be, for example, I like hockey, and you may be a goaltender that had a perfect game. You had to shut out that game. Seemed like you were firing all pistons. Your team just won the trophy that year. Final game of the season. You made a remarkable save that helped your team and got you guys the victory. But overall, there's no I in team. There may be a me in team, but the me in team actually is you and how you're helping improve your team. So when I'm saying this stuff, I'm more or less speaking to myself, because a lot of the times I forget that the me should be turned to we and the I should be turning to us. And I forget that a lot of the times. And, you know, we're going to keep this video under 10 minutes because I'm sure nobody wants to listen to a rambling session. But anyways, full disclaimer, the person that I mentioned in one of my previous videos about a video that I had made year prior, and the reason why I've sort of changed my stance on the entire thing. That person has actually become my fiance, and I'm actually getting married in another country. And it's kind of surreal, and albeit a dream come true for her, it is most certainly one of the things that's made the biggest impact on my life. And I know she'll be watching this, and I will say hi, I love you, and I will openly say that. I have no reason to hide it. However, no, the biggest thing about this year is I know it turned from last year being one of the hardest years of my life to turning to this year and being one of the best years of my life, through the triumphs, through the failures, through the tears, through the outright screaming for joy. There has been a lot of highs, there's been a lot of lows, but for anyone that's looking and being in a relationship with anyone, certain times it can feel like a roller coaster where you're hanging on for dear life. But the other thing, too, is we also have to understand what we can't change the people around us. The only person we're in charge of is ourselves. And how people perceive us is one of the few things that we can change, but it is not something that is done in an instant. It takes time, it takes effort. And before you realize it, people's opinions of you will change. Not everyone's going to like you. Some people are going to have animosity towards you for various different things from your past, and albeit I'm fairly certain everybody has a skeleton in their closet, because nobody's perfect. I most certainly am not. I can say that with the utmost certainty. And as my fiance would also be able to point out certain flaws of mine that I have had and still have, she would be able to poke it with needles and burst those bubbles. And openly being willing to change and make your years better, albeit we don't live for very long, just outright saying that. Because this world has been around for thousands of years, and all of us are like vapors in the wind. Gone in mere seconds, but it feels like a lifetime that we're here. And overall, can't change the past, but history is history for a reason. But the future is always being written. So what can you do today to help somebody around you? To show them love and kindness, although you were never shown those things. As always, I hope you had a fantastic 2023, and if you're not, I hope it gets better for you sooner rather than later. Peace out, and I will see you all in the new year. And may your remaining days of 2023 be the best that you've had all year.